Hi, I'm gonna be reviewing Paul Saladino's latest video called I Flew to Europe to see if their food is actually better. I don't know what he's expecting. The food in the supermarkets is better in the US overall. Of course, there's a lot of supermarkets, stores, there's a lot of countries in Europe. Outside of the supermarkets, the food may be better in Europe. We'll see.
We are going to Europe. We're going to Spain.
Spain doesn't really have such good food. I've been there twice. It's all right. You can even buy raw milk there. That wasn't possible just some years ago. It's pretty recent that they implemented that.
I have heard that in Europe, the food is healthier, and that in Europe, no one is obese, no one is fat, no one is sick. I don't know if that's true, but
That's for sure not true. People are sick. Not that many people are obese. That's true. When I went to the US for the first time, I wasn't shocked because I had seen it on TV already, but it was still very surprising to see that many overweight people who cannot walk, especially at Walmart.
I've heard that in Europe, everything is different with the food. So I'm going to go to Europe and figure out what's different about the food in Europe versus the food in the States. Because obviously in the US, we are super unhealthy and our food here is super toxic. And we hear everyone talking about all of these horrible ingredients in our food that have gotten through the GRAS standards, that generally recognized as safe standards from the FDA and all this bullshit. So I'm going to go to some markets in Europe, going to go find some cheese and some raw milk in Europe. And I'm going to go see if people are actually healthier in Europe or if it's all a scam. I'm flying to Mallorca. So if you're going to go to Europe, you might as well go somewhere beautiful and blue water. My circadian rhythm is about to get completely destroyed, but I'm going to fix that too. And I've got a bunch of food for the flight. Let me show you guys what I got for this flight. I have squash and cucumber. It looks gross. I got peaches. I got plums. Meat that I cooked yesterday. That is honeydew melon in glass. We've got a
Cooked meat in glass. Takeaway cooked meat is kind of disgusting. Cooked meat as such isn't appetizing to me for sure because I don't eat it even when I see it or smell it. But if it stays in a tub for a while, that's even worse. But it's food. Could have also taken raw meat with you, mate. That's what I've done many times.
huge thing of berries. And of course, we've got lineage meat sticks. That's about it. Super important hack is that when you have a bag and it's all food like this, it doesn't count as a carry-on bag. So I could actually bring 2 bags with me on this plane and this. I'm not going to eat anything on this plane. I just don't do that. If you have any questions about why Americans are fat, sick, and unhealthy, look at the food options here. You got Chick-fil-A, cooked in seed oils with processed sugars. Burger 21, I'm almost positive that's cooked in seed oils. New York pizza, processed grains, seed oils. Starbucks, which has a bunch of garbage stuff that's going to be processed.
He knows everything about seed oils and that seeds are bad for you. That's good. No matter what I disagree on, I really like that he always points that out because it's so bad for you. It's really important to avoid the unhealthy stuff in the first place. Of course, it's also important to eat the really healthy stuff, but getting that out of your diet is the number one thing that you should do. Seeds and seed oils, just don't eat it. No beans, legumes, nuts, grains, nothing.
Sugar and processed flour and seed oils, and pay whey, which is probably the most seed oils you're ever going to find in any one place because everything is deep fried in seed oils. Sugar, pornography. I don't even think these things existed anymore.
Yeah, and people still wonder, why do we have so many cases of heart attacks, strokes, and everything is just, as he said, fried, cooked in seed oils. It's just all over the grain sludge, the pizzas. You take a pizza slice and just the seed oils are dripping down and then you fucking eat that, man. Fuck.
Pure sugar plus synthetic petroleum derived food dyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does his research not on salt, not on creatine. Maybe he will get there still. Paul can be called anything. I don't think that he's stupid. He may be a bit naive here and there, but I think he could get it if he would look into it, actually. Well, you don't really need to look into it. You just need to listen to your body. But that's even harder for people today. He even, when he tasted the creatine in the other video, he said that it tastes bad, that you cannot eat a lot of it. He just doesn't still understand that it's poisonous.
That's got to be good for your gut. This is like the new probiotic, guys. Just super bad lollipops. This is the genesis, or one of the genesises of dysbiosis. This is what contributes to SIBO, small intestinal bacteria.
A little problem that I have with his content is that when people watch him, they will believe that he's very informed, which he is, but at the same time, it makes you think that whatever he will try to sell you and whatever he is promoting is going to be good for you, seeing as how could this guy be promoting anything bad if he's so informed about all of the toxic chemicals in these foods? If he tells me to use electrolytes, salt, creatine, and all of these powders and pills and whatnot, then it must be good for you.
Your overgrowth. Eating fruit is different because all the polyphenolic compounds in the fruit prevent overgrowth of the bad bacteria. They've seen this in studies. When you eat this stuff, it literally releases inflammatory mediators in your body, lipopolysaccharide, endotoxin, from the gram-negative bacterial overgrowth in your gut. So basically, this is not surprising. We're still in the United States. This is a nightmare for your gut across the...
I don't think that you're going to find anything much better in Europe. Maybe slightly better ingredients. That may be true, but everything is full of seed oils. It's all the same. We'll see.
Treat is this map that leads you to a nightmare for your metabolism with all the seed oil-filled restaurants. We're going to go see if Europe is any different or if it's just a scam.
No, as far as restaurants go, it's pretty much all cooked in seed oils also. Hopefully he doesn't really expect to find anything else.
Look at this. This is like what Spain is about. In case you were wondering, one of the best ways to align your circadian rhythm when you're crossing all these time zones is to get in the ocean, get in the sun, obviously. So I've already done a bunch of swimming this afternoon. Let's go to the grocery store, but...
Good recommendation.
Yeah, Mallorca. This is crazy. Found a little supermarket in Sant Elm in Mallorca. You can see the view out there is not bad. And here...
I stayed in Spain for over a month in winter. It's all right. The food isn't that good. You can get raw milk there. I'm not much into dairy though. I think that I actually did drink it back then because I didn't have access to really good meat. They have good pork there, which can be eaten raw. That's cool. I even still eat actually Spanish pork, which is frozen, unfortunately. It's imported, but I still actually eat raw pork from Spain. That's not the only pork that I've eaten raw. I've eaten raw pork from other places also. From Belgium, for example, they have good pork. But it's hard to get good pork that you can eat raw. Spain is one of the best... farming places for it because of the Iberico pork, those pigs, different kind of pigs. You should check it out. You should try it.
On the street, they're advertising some interesting seeds, special types of melons, cannabis. Okay, we have the sexy women pepper. I don't know. Well, anyway, let's go in the store and see what we can find in here. They've got like normal junk food, ice cream, garbage, sunscreen, garbage.
Yeah, he's not going to find anything good there, but we'll see. The supermarkets in Spain are not really that good. Funnily enough, you can buy brain in the stores at the butcher. I don't know how good the quality is. I assume not really good. But then again, in New Jersey, for example, you can also go to a store and buy brain. And it's actually high quality brain. I've had it. I know it from experience.
Coca-Cola, Red Bull, beer. Nothing super exciting here, kind of like the States. So this is a digestive biscuit, wheat flour, vegetable oil, high oleic sunflower oil, so definitely seed oils, 18% sugar, 5% wheat bran, oligofructose, glucose, fructose syrup, fruit, salt, and flavor.
2 hours later.
Glucose syrup, glycol sugar, wheat fiber, gelling agent, which is pectin, acidity regulators, citric acid, natural orange flavor, coloring is curcumin.
Wait, are all of those ingredients? I didn't even realize that. No, right? That's just an insane list. That's not normal. Or was it in different languages?
Food diet here. Raising the sodium, hydrogen.
It was probably English and Spanish, right?
Maybe 20% better than the States in terms of garbage ingredients. Still not awesome. What I'm really curious about is how they make bread. How much of these people are eating versus the staples. Like, are the staple foods better? Is the bread here different? Pretty sure all this is...
To be fair, this is some very cheap garbage little store. They're gonna have the junkiest garbage there. He should have went to a kind of normal supermarket.
It's going to be the same. That's not something you see in the States. Not something I would eat, but it's like a preserved pork sausage. I feel like the cheese is better than you'd find at like a random small little market in the States. You got Grana Padano, which is raw cheese. So you can find a raw cheese in like any grocery store. They've got some fake butter, but then they've got like real butter here. So we've got like some high quality butter, some high quality cheese. I don't know if we're going to be able to find any water in glass. Apples, apricots, peaches, plums, avocado, tomato, cucumber. I have no idea if any of this is organic, probably not. We're just basically finding whatever's on the street, so we're going to keep looking. I'm not terribly impressed so far, but they did have a little bit of decent butter and cheese. So that grocery store was a miss. Grocery stores so far are pretty bad here, actually. Like I would say worse than the United States. No organic options, not great meat at all. So I might need to find like an actual butcher and an actual market.
Yeah, if you're in Europe, go to butchers or farms. At the supermarket, you're not gonna find really good food. In some places, in Germany, you can find some good meat in some supermarkets even. But overall, it should be avoided. Maybe in Switzerland, you could find some good meat, I assume.
There's a market tomorrow that hopefully I'm going to try and go to or something, but I found this place which supposedly has like organic food, so let's see. This is better. At least we've got organic produce here. This is the best produce I've seen so far. So we got apples, kiwi.
I don't know why he wants organic products. It really doesn't mean that much. Does it mean anything in the US? Not from my research, but in Europe I know that it means nothing. They simply use organic pesticides. They're still not good for you.
Avocado, mango. We're very far from the tropics. Got some melon. I'll get some of that. And got some dates. Yeah, this is the best I've found so far, but had to work for it. Looks like we got blueberries in there. There's some meat over here. So I had to find like, come on back here. Can't film? All right, guys, let me show you my grocery haul in here. We got grass-fed beef, melons, squash, strawberries, organic, best eggs I could find. Those are not for me. Blueberries, bananas, apples, juice, best yogurt we could find, water in glass. Looks like a raw cheese. We got some more steaks down here.
Could be worse. It's all right. We definitely didn't keep filming. The stupid Europeans always with not filming, man. Just fuck off. At least in the US they don't make such trouble when you film. Nobody really cares, usually.
So after finding like a small supermarket in Sant Elm, which was horrible yesterday, we went to a little market that was organic, that had some good stuff. And now I'm in Palma, so I'm in the capital of Mallorca, in like the nicest big grocery store, and we ended up in like ham heaven. And apparently ham is like a big deal in Spain, and so I'm trying to decipher this wall of pig legs.
As I said, they are really into pork, and I have tried this. A subscriber of mine gave it to me once. It does taste, I guess it's really salty, or I don't know what it is really. I guess they salt them from the outside. That you wouldn't be able to eat. It's disgusting, I assume. It would be super much salt. But I think it kind of goes also inside. Maybe you can tell me about it. I'm not sure. It still tasted kind of good, the pork itself. But I think it just penetrates through because it's so much. And because they age them for a while. I don't know.
There are different things to consider here. I won't burden you guys with all of it, but we've got Iberico ham, which is the nicest ham. And there's ham that's fed bellota, which is acorns. I'm trying to pronounce that. But when in Spain, I think I have to try probably the best prosciutto in the world. And I'm going to start with these and go from there. And also I found in this grocery store some organic butter. Bio is like the equivalent of organic in the States. And it's funny because they have a Nutri-Score on the butter. And this gets the lowest rating. Apparently in Spain, they're kind of woke when it comes to nutrition. I would say butter is one of the most uniquely nutritious things on the planet. Stearic acid, a healthy saturated fat. You've got...
It's because it's the same people pushing the same agenda in Europe, the US, and all over the place. It's kind of, at the end of the day, all the same. People believe that grains are at least okay to eat. They eat their bread and pastries and whatever. It's the same all over Europe. There's no real difference between the countries. In France, I guess they eat more raw animal foods. He should have went to France, actually, yeah. That would have been a good video. He would have seen tons of raw butter. They have really good raw butter. Yeah, raw cheeses anyway, just everywhere, full of it. In Austria, you can also simply buy raw cheese in the train station, just everywhere. Because they create it in the country. Same with France, of course. It's everywhere. And they also have a lot of raw meat dishes. That would have been a good video. I think that would have been better than Spain. But it's all right. It's a good chill video. I like it.
Fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin K2 is going to be rich
Sure.
in fat. We know that vitamin K2 consumption is associated with lower rates of cardiovascular disease in like observational studies like the Rotterdam study. I guess in the States we have F, but this is the lowest. This gets an F for nutrition according to Spain. I'm going to give butter an A. One of the most interesting things about Europe is just all the side streets. I mean, this is this little dirt side street. There's just fruit growing everywhere. So we got some pomegranates growing right here. Cactus fruit. I mean, these are not very good. You get a lot of spines in your mouth, but...
Actually, I do like them. I've eaten them in Spain. The ones that grow just like that. The wild ones.
It's so cool just exploring these little side streets everywhere. And I don't know, Europe is just so different than the States.
Yeah, the United States has a very man-made system, of course. This is all man-made also, but it's really artificial. It's just really fake. And you just drive on these big roads. You cannot really walk anywhere. And all the time you see fast food chains, just every possible one you can imagine. And it's all full of seed oils, as Paul said before. The first time when I was there, I just couldn't find a supermarket anywhere. You have to drive really far to actually get to a store, let alone a farm. Yeah, but there's a lot of different states, and in Utah or somewhere, I'm sure that there's tons of good farms. Actually, there are, because I've been there. I haven't been to Salt Lake City or whatever, but I'm sure that it's better, and there's better cities also. But in a place like Florida, for example, it's pretty bad.
People live so differently here. The pace of life is totally different and super chill, even beyond the food. It seems like in Spain and in Europe, you could find a farmer's market like this, like even a small one with local produce, almost every single day.
Yeah, but a lot of those so-called farmers markets have some imported fruits and even imported meat. Nowadays it's kind of fake. Not in those small towns, I assume. Farmers markets are kind of a joke nowadays. It's unfortunate.
The week. Can you tell me about the olives? Where are they from? Soyer. ¿Qué tipo de aceite?
Trencadas.
Trancadas.
Se llaman trencadas.
Okay. ¿Sabes qué?
Of course, he went to Spain because he speaks Spanish, because he lives in Costa Rica, right? Makes sense.
These are the pear apples that are unique to Mallorca. So, I don't know. Let's see. That's disappointing. I got way too many of those. It's like dry. Okay, that looks legit. This has got to be better. Where's it go? So, I don't usually dress like this, guys, but I'm gonna go check out a restaurant in Spain. We got some air-dried steak back here. It's like backup, just in case. You know, let's go check it out. So at the restaurants, I always ask, just what do you cook in, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna use seed oils here because it's cooking straight on a grill. When I come to a restaurant, I'm boring. I'm just gonna get a steak. But if you guys want to get more complicated food, if your immune system tolerates that, am jealous. Look for things that are not cooked in seed oils. They said they put a little bit of olive oil on the grill, and that's it. So the grill is like really safe, I think. And then I got a grilled tenderloin, we got steak tartare, and we got a burrata.
Yeah, all right. Nice. I like it.
With some tomatoes and stuff underneath. I'm going to try and like just eat the cheese.
Yeah, pretty normal to eat raw meat also in Spain and France anyway, at a restaurant. Everybody knows sushi, but steak tartare is a common dish in many restaurants. Even if you go to Africa over the sea, then in Morocco you will find the same, although it does have a pretty strong French influence from the past. Maybe that's why.
Tomatoes trigger my eczema. If you guys can eat tomatoes, I'm jealous, but we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, Paul tried out all of these diets because he damaged his gut pretty badly.
I could live on that.
Nice. I love it. Yes.
It's a little dangerous. Super good. Super good. Doing great so far. Pretty good stuff. 3 minutes from my Airbnb. I go mid-rare on the steaks. Sometimes I even go rare. Let's see.
Yeah, why not just rare? Yeah. A little bit cooked on the outside. That's all that you need if you eat cooked food.
Great flavor. On like the real grill. Amazing. I'm happy. And I'm in search of like the best olive oils on the island. I've heard they have good olive oil, and I'm trying to learn about the different varieties.
There's no such thing as good olive oil. How can there be? It's oil pressed out of poisonous fruits, and over 90% of the time with the seeds also together.
Of olive oil in Mallorca, there's a ton, and they really take their olive oil seriously. It's kind of like Italy. They do not mess around with their olive oil here at all. And so let's see if we can find some good olive oils and maybe some other good produce here. But as you guys can see, like just everybody is walking around the town. There's so many cool little side streets.
Looking for good olive oils makes no sense. It's like looking for good seed oils. Even if they are not made with the seed, still you cannot drink a lot of that. Just try it. You can't because it's poisonous. That's another thing that he got wrong.
Where you can walk and people are just enjoying. There's restaurants that are all outdoors. People are obviously getting infrared radiation when you're outdoors, which is good. Infrared light. And every restaurant serves olive oil. Like olive oil is the go-to in Spain as opposed to seed oils. What I've noticed about being here is that overall, at least in Mallorca, and I explored a lot of this island over the last 2 weeks, the food quality here is far and away better than the United States in general. I went to little corner grocery stores, not so great. We saw that at the beginning of the video. I went to bigger grocery stores, which had all kinds of stuff. That ham was incredible. And then there were little specialty shops that had more of the organic stuff, which they call eco. The meat here was incredible, generally speaking. I got the steak at the grocery store, and it was like...
Pretty nice fat. I like it. That would be yummy. I don't eat muscle meat very often, but... yeah, this kind of a steak I would eat. If the fat is really yellow, it just appeals to me.
Orange. I mean, the fat was orange. So this is at this local grocery store called Veritas, which is like their boutique organic grocery store. But you don't see a lot of meat in the States, even grass-fed meat with fat that's that orange. That is really suggestive.
True. I have never seen that in the US, actually. Yeah. Not saying that there isn't meat like that. I'm sure that there is somewhere. But not in any stores, any farms even, that I've been to. And I've been to the Amish farms also.
Cows are eating a lot of beta-carotene in the grass. One thing to mention about the eggs in Europe, or at least in Mallorca and Spain, I think it's most of Europe, they don't refrigerate them here because the governments don't allow them to clean off the protective coating of the eggs. When you refrigerate eggs, and you pull them in and out of the fridge, that can cause condensation. And if that protective coating on the shell has been removed, that can cause bacteria, potentially salmonella or campylobacter to transit.
Yeah, for sure, man. He also believes the bacteria nonsense. Yeah, whatever. Years are gonna go by. I think that Paul is gonna change his opinion about some topics still. He's absolutely on the right path. I think so. Yeah, and he can admit when he's wrong about something, and that's a strong trait to have, to be able to actually do that.
The Europeans also do other things. Like they have to walk to take out the trash and they're always walking. It's just a walk.
Where do you not have to walk to take out the trash? How else do you take it out? Or does he mean a few steps further? I don't know what his point is. Nice blue sky, by the way.
Culture here, and they're enjoying life. They sit in cafes.
No geoengineering going on there, at least on that day. That's nice. Spain is usually different.
They spend time with each other. It's a very interesting thing. All these things, I'm sure, play into the experience, and you really can't understand it until you get to Europe. So I think I'm really going to feel the culture shock when I go back to the States. And I won't be there long because I'm going to get back to Costa Rica, which is my favorite place right now still. So that's all for this video, guys.
As I expected, it was a pretty chill video. Relaxing in the sun in Spain, eating pork, maybe even raw pork, steak tartare. He said that he would eat that forever, or that he could always eat that. If you want to get into raw meat, you might as well just try steak tartare at a restaurant. In Europe, that's possible in most countries, if not even all. I think probably. If you go to a steakhouse, they will probably have it. If you just want to try it out, you're gonna see that it's actually really good. Doesn't matter if there's some additives, pickles or whatever, you probably eat it anyway. If you eat a regular so-called diet. Might as well just try the raw meat. You're gonna see that you're gonna like it. The texture is completely fine. You will get used to it. Try eating that more often and try cooking the meat less and less, and you're gonna start eating an actually species appropriate diet. And what Paul Saladino is promoting is overall good. He promotes eating meat, even raw liver. He eats a bit of that, shows it in his videos. That may inspire more people to do that. Awesome. He showed the steak tartare. He is pretty friendly towards raw meat. I really do like to see that. And as I said, he was wrong about some things in the past. He admitted it. I can respect that as much as you can respect somebody online. Obviously, I don't know him, but you understand what I mean. Because that's rare to see nowadays. And I think that once he will realize the truth about salt, creatine, scientifically proven to be poisonous, as in an actual scientific experiment was done, more of them actually, which proved that it is poisonous. Not some epidemiology, correlation studies, actual science, knowledge. Olive oil also... I think that he will get it in the end. He knows that he's been wrong in the past. That's okay. We all have been. Who cares? It's good to realize that you're wrong, because then you're right. It's really the best thing on earth. And I'm sure that he will eventually also realize the truth about those other things which he's promoting. But still, overall, his message is good. Even if people would eat exactly the way he eats, they would still be way healthier. Overall, I think that compared to most health influencers, I think that he actually cares about human health. Yes, he sells some supplements and powders and whatever. It is a business for him for sure. Don't get me wrong, I get that. I see that in his videos. I've reviewed a few of them already, and I understand why he does that. And I'm sure that he actually believes in the stuff that he sells. But in the end, when he's rich enough, I think that he's going to be able to admit, and of course, in the first place, he has to realize it, that a lot of the stuff he still promotes is not actually good for you. And a lot of it is actually toxic to humans. Thanks for watching.